Hi guys, welcome back to RhomanysRealm. I'm Romany and I thought today I would show you my April planner and journal setup because a lot of people have been asking me about it. I'm basically using the same setup as I've had since the beginning of the year and not dissimilar to what I always use. Just because I'm in a different thing doesn't mean that I'm using it any differently. I did start out with my bullet journal in my Filofax, and some of my bullet journal collections, the lists that you put together, the long-term stuff, are still in my Filofax because I use that as a wallet. So it's really handy when I'm out and about, I'm at the shops or whatever, I've got my shopping lists, I've got my books I want to read, I've got all sorts of things. So it's really handy to have all that together in one place. And that is my Finsbury. I will put a link down below to the general setup. The only difference is that the weekly pages with my bullet journal stuff have come into here and my long-term lists are still in there. So this is what I'm using at the moment. This is a faux traveller's notebook. It's not a Midori, it's a moleskin Kaye size, which is, forget how big it is, 22 centimetres by 14 centimetres, and it's about 4 centimetres thick. So it's roughly 8.5 by 5. So it's quite a chunky thing. I really like it. It's a good size. It's very light because it doesn't have lots of trappings. It's literally just 2 pens and a couple of notebooks. So it's not very heavy at all. I really like it. This was made for me by the lovely Ray Blake, and he also put my name on it. He does these custom made and bespoke as and when he has the time, the inclination and the leather. So I will also put a link to My Life All in One Place, his blog, where you can find lots of free inserts and lots of fun stuff and tutorials and things that you can do with your Midori, your Filofax, all sorts of things. And I'll also include a link down below to our Midori Traveller's Notebook group. It's for anybody who is into these notebooks. It doesn't have to be a true Midori, and it is a resources centre. So we've got sellers in there, people who make inserts, people who make stickers specifically for the Midori. We've got people who specifically make these little charms. We've got all sorts of things. Plus we've got all the enthusiasts like myself showing how they're using the Midori. So it's a great little group. Well, I say little, I think we're about 15,000 members now. If you want to come along and have a look and give us a try out, please do so. Getting into the insides of my Midori, it's not overly stuffed. I don't see the point in overly stuffing my Midori before I even begin, because as I work in my journals, they get thicker and thicker. And you get to the point where you can't fit, you have to take a notebook out because it's too chunky. So I like to start with a nice thin notebook and work from there. And as you can see, there is plenty of space to expand in this one. There's lots and lots of room at the spine. I can even fit several of the soft cover regular moleskins, which are about this thick, in here. The last I checked, I could fit 3 comfortably. New ones, obviously that still leaves room for expansion. So let's get into this. I've got my German Shepherd charm on the front. This is a Diamante charm. It's just on a lobster clip, so it's easy to take on and off, and I move it to whichever journal I'm using or carrying about with me at the time. I also have, I'll just show you quickly, my pens. I've got them stuck on with Leuchtturm pen loops in red. These actually come off really easily if you ply them off, you see, and it does leave a bit of a mark, but not much. But they also re-stick. So this one has actually been moved from several different books. This is a brand new one, but this one I've moved several times now. In the front, I've just got one of these Diamante pens that Miss Vicky B sent me. Isn't it beautiful? I love this pen. It's a rotate from the bottom one. This actually has a refill in it that is from a Uniball Jetstream. So, you know the Hobonichi style pens that you get free, the Uniball refills? They fit in here, you just have to chop the ends off. And I do have a tutorial on that. Again, I'll link that down below. And on the right hand side I've got my fountain pen, and I can't believe I forgot this in yesterday's video. I'm so sorry, Mandy. This was one of the other things that Mandy sent me from Punjab. It's a Hero 332 fountain pen, which I understand is one of the kind of the school brands. A lot of people in India use fountain pens. It's a huge thing. I don't know if it's because that's what they learn to use in school. I don't know what it is. Fountain pens are very, very popular in India. And she sent me this as part of my mail package that I showed you yesterday, and I forgot to include it because it's been stuck in my journal because I've been using it. It currently has, I think it's empty actually, currently has hot pink, yeah, it needs refilling, hot pink diamine ink in it, which I think I have a swatch of it back here somewhere because I showed somebody the other day. There you go, that's the colour. It's really, really beautiful. It's my favourite pink. So that's in there. I have my pouch in the front from my actual Midori. And as you can see, here is the difference between a regular Midori and the Kayes. It's literally only a ½ inch of difference, but I like the extra ½ inch. I'm sorry, I really like the width of the Kayes. They feel comfortable. I suppose it's what I'm used to. In this pouch, I normally have this ruler and my green Hobonichi stencil, which I use for my bullet journal. I was using it this morning and it's over there somewhere. I've left it on the table, but that is normally in this pouch. Then here I've got some small check pages from a pocket size one of these, pocket size Moleskine Cahier. I use these both for if I do something in my bullet journal, like I make a complete hash of a title or something, or I want to completely change something, then I'll cut up a bit of this and stick it on. But I don't do that very often. I did do it back here when I put the wrong date on something. I actually cut out a bit and stuck it on and then drew round it again. I'll come to my bullet journal in a minute. But I use this also for in my journal if I want to write on paper. I like writing on check paper. And I've also got, I usually have a couple of these in here, but I've only got one at the moment. Just Project Life cards, again for my journal. So this is my bullet journal, and I plan on doing a bullet journal proper go through next week. I'll show you how I set it up and how I use it, because I'm using it slightly differently, especially in relation to colour coding. But my bullet journal is a sticker-free zone, because this is what it's all about. This. First of all, I'm not bashing anybody who does pretty bullet journaling. I think it's great. There are an awful lot of people doing very talented lettering and colouring and all sorts of things in their bullet journals that have never been creative before or don't have another creative outlet. I think that's fantastic. I absolutely love watching the videos of people like Boho Berry and Little Rare Sunshine and all those girls who do all this pretty bullet journaling. I think it's great. I have nothing against it any more than I have against pretty planning. However, for me, my bullet journal is about getting stuff done. Okay, it's not about making it pretty, it's about getting it done and being organised. I have my journal, I have my idea book, I have my collage book, I have all sorts of books back here that I can be creative in. This one is not for creativity, this one is for getting stuff organised, okay? So my bullet journal is not pretty. It's organised and it's fairly neat, and I do have layouts in it, but it's not pretty. I will show you how I organise it, but this is typically what my bullet journal looks like. I have a monthly from March, because I started it in February, I've got March to December just for forward planning and birthdays and things like that. That's my February layout, my March layout. These are exactly the same as I did in my original bullet journal when I did the Evernote one. And for those of you asking, where's my Evernote journal? Did I ever finish it? I've lost it. I have no idea where it is. When I moved, it got put away and it's disappeared and I don't know where it is. It might be under the sofa, but honestly, I'm scared to move to the sofa and find out. I'm using the same stuff, it's just I've made a few modifications to it, which I will talk you through next week. But this is basically what my bullet journal looks like. It's not pretty. I experimented with Chronodex in it for a while. And I may go back to that. I experimented with the Life Management Hyperdeck. It's a stamp that I got from her Etsy. I've got my tracker, my day-to-day stuff. Again, March, my trackers and goals. Again, I'll show you this when I come to do it properly. This was the end of February. That was the end of February into March. February, I was using both this and my Filofax because I was transitioning and I'd already started in my Filofax, so I didn't see the point in copying things out. Then, of course, I got sick here. From the 4th right through to the end of March, I've been sick. So I really only started again. I had a couple of days around the 18th where I felt okay and I started making a list thinking I was getting better. I really wasn't. This page is YouTube reviews that I've got, that I'm doing or have done or I'm currently working on. I need to fill in a few of these because I've actually done them. Like that one is my pagan parcel, which I've done. I've got a list here, which is YouTube videos I'm doing. Then I've got my April setup, which I actually recorded setting this up. I've got a page for my tracker, which I haven't set up yet. I thought I would do that on camera as well. And then this is all stuff that's brought forward. So basically anything before this page is irrelevant now, because anything that was in here has been brought forward. It's so old, there's no point in having to flip back to it. So got my nerd glasses on here to show me where I'm up to. So I open my journal, I'm straight there. The nerd glasses I think were also from Miss Vicky B, if I remember correctly. So don't ask me where they came from. She sent them to me, I think with my pen actually. I started again basically in April and brought forward everything. So this page is all stuff that is brought forward, and I split it into urgent and non-urgent because this is stuff that I really need to do this month. But if it doesn't happen this month, it's not the end of the world. So things like building the bookcase I ordered that arrived at the end of February, that is still in the box out there because I was sick and I couldn't do it. You know, posting stuff that's not urgent. My bedroom spring clean is still waiting to happen. It doesn't matter if they don't get to these this month. These have to be done. And some of them I have done, some of them I haven't done. I'm going to record my colour coding so that I can show you that as well. So quite a few bullet journal videos coming up in the next week. So stay tuned, do subscribe if you want to keep an eye on what's going on with that. My next book is just a random crap book, okay? It's kind of ideas and quotes and things that I see that I like. This is a mixed media project we're doing for my class, a diptych on canvas. I've got some layouts for some bullet journals and storyboards and things like that. Got some pen testing. These are the distress crayons, stuff like that. So this is just a random crap book. So when I'm like, oh, I need a piece of paper to try this out on, this is the book I go to. This is my journal at the moment, and my poor journal. This journal was started so long ago, and it's so, well, it was started at the beginning of, no, that should be in there as well. This is my sticky down card for sticking down stuff when I glue it. When you glue stick stuff, you just do that with a bit of card and it sticks it to the paper better. What was I saying? Yes, my poor journal got neglected because I started this at the beginning of March and I managed to do all of 3 pages. So this was my first page and I did the first and second. I did the first and then I didn't do anything until the 27th because I was still sick. This is a photograph of a picture that I did. It was commission for somebody of her 2 kids and her dog. This was a poem that I found in my magazine that I really liked, that I pulled out. It's all about spring and I really liked it. This is all done with paints and distress crayons because I was trying them out. This is a page I was doing. When I started feeling a little bit better, I started to just try to boost my creativity just by doing a bit here and there. This is one of Susie Blue's colouring book pages that she does on her Patreon, and I'm just, you know, playing basically. It's not finished yet. And then from there on, I basically, all I could handle was cut and paste. So I did a few pages of cut and paste and just putting things together. These I did the other day. This I started when I was sick, but I actually added some more to it later. Again, this one I started when I was sick and I added some more later. This one I did the other day. And they're all just magazine cutouts. Literally just magazine cutouts. I get a lot of questions about what magazines I use. I have Spirit and Destiny, which is a spiritual magazine, and I have The Simple Things, which is just a general simple living kind of magazine, which I really like. It's a lifestyle magazine. That's the only magazines that I have. And occasionally I end up with an issue of Vogue or something, somehow. I think this came from Vogue originally. It was a photo shoot because I like the models in Vogue. But, you know, that's really all that it is. And I just take bits and pieces and put them together and collage it. That's all I was up for at the time. I'm feeling a bit better now, but unfortunately I've got so much to do, I don't really have time to do my journaling. So I've got to carve out some time to do that. And this is my Peerless watercolour palette, which was sent to me by Olga. Olga from Art Mingle. I love the way she says that. It's so pretty and chirpy, and she just sounds so happy. It's ace. Yeah, she very kindly made me this and sent me it to put in my book. Then in the middle here of my journal, I have my little Peerless watercolour palette, which was sent to me by Olga. Olga from Art Mingle. Thank you, Olga. I'm not overly fond of the Peerless watercolours. I know that's not a popular thing to say, but I don't find them any better or worse than any other watercolours that I use. They're just watercolours to me, which is an odd thing for a watercolour artist to say, because my primary way of working is in watercolour. But, you know, I don't understand why everybody's so enamoured with them. Perhaps that's just me. I do like the fact, obviously, that they are completely flat and they're very handy for journaling out and about. So I do have this and I do use it. But I don't rate this any higher than any of those. And especially with the colour palette, there's an awful lot of warm colours. There's an awful lot of pinks and oranges. Who needs that many pinks? I mean, I love pink. Pink is my favourite colour, especially hot pink. I mean, look at this. Whoa, that's gorgeous. I think it looks purple on camera, but it is actually very, very pink. But, you know, this whole row is pink. Half of this row is pink. Half of this row is pink. I've got another pink there. How many pinks do you need? Yeah, just my 2 cents on the Peerless watercolour palette. Is certainly worth it if you're going to be out and about journaling, because it's very, very handy. But for the amount of money you have to spend on it, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it as a thing that you have to get. Yesterday in the mail, I was also looking for the letter that Mandy sent me, and this is it. Isn't it pretty? I found it in the back of my journal. I retied it. She didn't tie it like this originally. It was much better done. This is what it looks like. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's metallic and pretty, and there's my letter inside. I just love this envelope. I think it's so clever. There we go. Do that back up. Then I have my inspiration book, which again is sadly lacking because I set this up at the beginning of March and obviously haven't used it. But I found this collage. It was this picture with this insert, and it said, create a magical collage using pictures and illustrations of items that depict everything you desire. And I thought, hey, that's a good theme for a book. So I thought I would collage in bits and pieces of things I I want, or, you know, things that I like this. I really like the way this is laid out. This is a great kitchen layout and it looks the same as my kitchen, so I thought I might use that as a template for setting my kitchen up, and then that's all I did with it. But I do intend to use it. I want to use it for, you know, colour inspiration and, you know, a bit like a Pinterest board, but a physical one. And then this, of course, is my book of shadows, which if you watch Witchy Wednesday, you'll have seen this already. This is my book of shadows journal, which I'm just adding to as I go along, as I find things that I want to put in here. I'm going to draw a picture of a rowan there for that. Got some information here about some crazy Saturn stuff I've got going on in my chart, and I'd started making notes of it, and then that was when I got sick, so I've got to go back to that. And then this was another collage that I did the other day that I just felt needed to be in this book instead of the other one. So that's it. That is my traveller's notebook that I'm using at the moment. As I said, I will happily do some more videos on my bullet journal, because bullet journal videos seem to be very popular, but I've noticed that the more bullet journals videos come out, the more they're about pretty planning. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that at all. If that's what you're into and that's your creative outlet, you go for it. Make the prettiest bullet journal you possibly can. I think it's fantastic that people are doing that. But for those of us who need something practical that just works and doesn't involve being pretty, that we don't feel like we have to use our best writing in, and we can just write however we want to in it and just get it working so that we can do stuff. That's what my bullet journal is about, and that's what I want to do my video about, because I figure there has to be other people like me who are sitting there thinking, well, yeah, I love the pretty bullet journals, but I don't have time for that. I just want something to get things done with. So yeah, that's what my bullet journal videos will be about next week. And that's it. So if you have any questions about my bullet journal, especially, put them down below and I will try to answer them next week when I do my bullet journal videos. And if you have any questions about my other journals, my collaging or my book of shadows, put those down below as well. And over the next few weeks, I will try and address those for you too. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.